Dell Centre with Paisley's Murin Centre. The decision was rejected after the board voted against the proposals 5-3. A teenager is in hospital after a stabbing at a train station in Glasgow. British Transport Police were called to Moss Park railway station just after 9 p.m. on Sunday the 28th of April to reports of a stabbing. The teenager was taken to hospital, but his injuries were not thought to be life-changing or threatening. Humza Yousaf has resigned as Scotland's First Minister after cutting ties with his government's power-sharing partners. The SNP leader, who only took the role last year March, said he will stay on as First Minister until the Scottish National Party chooses his replacement. He said he underestimated the level of hurt after ending a power-sharing deal with the Scottish Greens last week and told reporters he wasn't willing to trade his principles just to hold on to power, and became visibly emotional as he paid tribute to his wife and children. New laws came into effect from April the 29th regarding regulations enforcing consumer protections against hacking and cyber attacks. These laws state that internet-connected smart devices meet minimum security standards by law. Manufacturers will be legally required to protect consumers from hackers and cybercriminals from accessing devices with internet or network connectivity, from smartphones to games consoles and connected fridges, as the UK becomes the first country in the world to introduce these laws. And now for African news. A dam collapsed in western Kenya on Monday the 29th of April, killing at least 40 people after a wall of water swept through houses and cut off a major road, police had said. The old Kijab Dam, located in the Mai Mahiua area of the Great Rift Valley region that is prone to flash floods, collapsed and water spilled downstream, carrying with it mud, rocks and uprooted trees. And that's the latest from Jambo Newsroom. I'm Andrew Baini.
Need security? Call Alpha One Plus Limited, a strategic security resourcing platform that connects you with licensed security personnel. We cater for our clients' security needs, from manned guarding, door supervision, event security, all the way up to close personal protection. Alpha One Plus Limited, your one-stop security solution. Call now at 44-074-2526-7909 or send us an email on info@alphaoneplus.com.
Established in 2006 as one of Glasgow's original mobile massage therapists, we deliver high-quality treatments with the ambition to forge permanent relations with clientele. We specialise in on-site massage, a type of treatment that has been specifically designed to complement the convenience and availability of massage at work. It is performed with the use of a specialist mobile chair, without the use of oils or the need to remove clothing. At Massage and Glow, we believe that massage should be a part of your everyday lifestyle. Regular massage not only relieves stress and tension, but also stimulates blood circulation, can help with pain management, and promotes good mental health. A must for your busy schedule. Various holistic therapies available. Contact us now on 07530 905 152 for your mobile massage therapist.
You are listening to Jambo Radio Scotland, online on your smart speakers and on DAB digital radio in Edinburgh and Glasgow. You can download the Jambo Radio app on Google Play and App Store. Now, it's time for our conversations with inspirational individuals in Scotland and beyond. This is a moment with Sade and Enoch.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Moments with Sade and Enoch. My name is Enoch and I'm here with my co-host
Sade
and our wonderful guest
Jason.
She
was like, should I say my name?
No, heads up for that one, Jason. On today's show we'll be talking about, I've titled the show Roam Around the World. I come up with this.
I like that. It's catchy.
Roam Around the World. I know it's ChatGPT for I just come up with this, by the way.
It will. I will give you all the credit.
And so we've got Jason here that has started a rum business here in Scotland with her husband, and she'll be telling us a bit about how they got started, the journey they've been on and what their ambitions are, some of the challenges they faced, and hopefully we can learn more about rum business, but then more importantly, we can learn more about, starting a business in Scotland or in the UK, and, maybe some of the things to watch out for.
Yeah.
You can join us in the studio. You can call our number. We are on 0141 530 2787. However, you can also send us a WhatsApp. If you don't want to call us, you can send us a WhatsApp message on 0745 990 6822. We've got more. You can Facebook us. We are at Jambo Radio Scotland. And on Twitter, we are at Jambo Radio 1. I've got 2 more.
Instagram
at jamboradio.scotland. And if you don't like any of those avenues, you can send us an email. We are on info at jamboradio.co.uk. So, a bit about the rum business. I did a bit of research on it. So it crossed 1 billion of sales in the UK in 2022. And maybe I'm getting this fact right, you can correct me. So, and then it's now about 13% of the spirits business in the UK. And in 2022 as well, or 2023, it overtook whiskey sales in the UK. So it seems you're onto a winner there, Jason. You're in a growing market, it would seem.
Rum is definitely trending now, and we've been waiting for this rum boom for a while. We've been talking about rum being the next gin. And that figure that you mentioned, the 1 billion sales in the UK, probably would have been a tipping point for this gin boom that we experienced a decade ago. So everything's cyclical. We saw gin have its time, and it was reinvented from what would have been seen as a mother's ruin type spirit. That's really what it was looked at. And it was reinvented as something artisanal and highly desirable. So in many ways, we've got the craft gin boom to thank. It's paved the way for consumers really appreciating artisanal, high quality premium. And we're effectively bringing all of those attributes to rum production in the UK.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
Lovely. Well, that's so interesting. I think by the end of this episode, I can't wait to taste the rum though.
I'm so
I
excited
think that's
about
going to be
you
my
tasting.
highlight.
There's going to be some tasting. So Sade, for those of you that have been watching or listening, Sade was not here for the last recording.
Yes.
But when she heard there was going to be a rum tasting for this one, she
I'm
cancelled
I'm not missing this one.
her schedule to be here.
Are you trying to say? Anyways, I just said I'm not missing this one. I would love to try this one. Yes. So I just want to if you were to talk about yourself without talking about work in less than 30 seconds, can you just get our listeners to get to know you better? So who are you?
Sure. So I am JC Mutasikwa. I am a Windrush grandchild, which means that my grandparents were part of the Windrush generation. They came over from Jamaica to England during the post-war period to help rebuild the country. You have to remember that Commonwealth citizens were invited to come and help rebuild the nation after it was decimated after the war. So they came with high hopes, really in search of a better life. And I find myself, really honouring their legacy and, standing on their shoulders, achieving things that they may not even have conceived was possible. And able to do that right here in Scotland.
Oh, lovely.
I'm a mother. I have 2 gorgeous daughters, Maya and Kieran. They're 10 and 7. And I'm married to Paul.
Beautiful.
Paul is Ugandan, and he is our head distiller.
Okay.
Oh, I've talked about the business.
That's all right. Well, unfortunately, he couldn't join us today. I'm going to meet him someday.
You will.
He's running away from me. I've seen you like 3 times now. With
Well, he's busy distilling. Someone's got to do the distilling.
It's in high demand.
Okay.
But then, so you said you're the child of Windrush.
Grandchild, she said?
Oh, grandchild.
Yeah.
Grandchild. So one thing that's always interested me about the Windrush generation, and I compare it to the sort of the Nigerian generation, is some of them took their time in applying for their passports.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because for Nigerians, they will go apply for their passports. The date it's ready. But I guess maybe would you say that's part of I guess the Caribbean laid back attitude, or
well, yeah, there was obviously a big scandal around the Windrush citizenship and that legacy. Yeah, and it wouldn't have been the whole population. I mean, my grandparents got all their paperwork in order. So, and it was probably needs must. I mean, my grandmother still travelled back and forth to Jamaica.
So she needed it.
Yeah, although interestingly, my grandfather was not interested in returning. And I always asked him.
In returning to
Jamaica.
Oh, wow,
and he kept saying, no, everybody's gone. Because actually at his level, all of his siblings travelled and they went to Canada or to the States or to England. So
everybody left.
He felt settled. But at 93, he decided that he wanted to return.
No way.
So my mother had to organise his passport because he wanted to go in the Caribbean and see him one last time. And it was, I joined that trip and it was amazing.
I can imagine, because that must have been a long time.
Well, he came in 1952. So Jamaica had transformed. But he had an urge to go back.
That would be such an emotional homecoming trip.
Yeah, amazing. But they made their life in the UK, and they, for better or worse, it was not easy for them. They suffered, quite a lot of challenges and heavy racism. But they built a fantastic life.
Yeah, and interesting. So I mean, so you've got Caribbean backgrounds, and you've just introduced yourself as Jason Rutasikwa. Rutasikwa is not Caribbean, is it?
It's not very Jamaican.
I'm always interested in names and their meanings. So do you want to share? I mean, if you know, do you want to share the origin of Rutasikwa, where it's from, and sort of what it means with our audience?
And I can share another name. So I have a Ugandan name. Oh, okay. It's Kerunji.
Kerunji. How do you spell that?
K-E... Oh, gosh. Hold on.
U-N-J-I.
K-E-I-R-U-N-G-Y.
Okay.
And I was named by my father-in-law and my brother-in-law.
Okay.
And what does that mean?
What does that mean?
It's quite embarrassing, but it means beautiful inside and out.
Oh, you got a good one.
Beautiful inside and out.
That's what you are. That's what you are. That is. I mean, I know you personally, and I think that's a good way to describe you, Kiranji.
So the last name, Rutasikwa, means he who cannot be held. So,
like cannot be stopped. Like
can't hold him back. He's just we move.
Interesting.
It's a strong name. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
lovely.
the beautiful one that cannot be held.
The combination of the two.
Boom.
I've never actually paired those together. Thank you.
Oh dear.
But I've married into a beautiful Ugandan family.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And full of tradition and deep culture. So for my daughters, they've got the whole of the Caribbean side, the African side,
and Scottish,
and
Scottish side.
so they're my youngest likes haggis, and she likes jerk chicken, and she likes Ugandan mandazis, and she just navigates it all, and I love that.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then I'm just looking at the bottle there. It's actually beautiful, by the way. So Matuga, but before Matuga, what were you doing, like career-wise? What was your background? What were you into?
So I see myself as a creative person.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm an artist.
Oh, lovely. I didn't know that side of you.
I know, because it's not really kind of being activated right now.
Okay.
But I find ways to kind of, tap into it, basically.
Okay.
So my background really is corporate marketing. And I've worked in, different sectors, financial services, mining.
Wow. Okay.
So actually moving into food and drink was the first time for me. I didn't really have experience apart from on the consumer side.
Okay.
So, and on Paul's side, he was a civil engineer, chartered civil engineer. So he was designing bridges and railways and highways.
Wow, really?
So very different to what we're doing now.
How did you get to Matuga? And what's the meaning, the name first of Matuga? What does that mean?
So Matuga is actually the name of a town in Uganda where our family have a land holding. And what's so beautiful about this, or special, is that Paul's late mother was a farmer.
Okay.
And she toiled this land really passionately, and she grew maize, and it's, we really think of her legacy.
Okay.
And in the early stages when Paul and I had met, we were, do people say courting? I don't know. Old school. Courting.
They call it dating
I like
now.
to say
You know what they call it. Yeah, courting, yeah.
And we would travel to Uganda and also to Kenya, you know, and he took me to this land and I just fell in love. And it kind of keeps us rooted to place.
Okay.
And we have been deliberate in showcasing Africa in our company.
I think I can see that from the pattern. It's like African pattern
there's an African aesthetic, but there's an interesting duality because it's twin with Scotland. So the reason why we came to Scotland is so that Paul could transition from civil engineer to distiller. And we came here because he got a place on Heriot Watt's brewing and distilling program.
Right.
So
was that the one?
Sorry. No, you go.
I was going to say, was that the one that Professor Sir Jeff Palmer was involved in?
Well, he's chancellor at the university. He's probably more on the brewing side, but Paul had to learn across brewing and distilling. So when we looked at where we could learn the education, it really was Scotland, and that's what brought us up here.
Wow.
We knew not one person in Scotland. Paul had his place. We needed to find somewhere to live close to the university, and that's how we came to live in Livingston, and that's why Livingston has a rum distillery.
Wow.
A series of events.
Oh, wow. So just the parts where you had to come, where Paul had to come to study, so I can understand that. But prior to that time, when did you make that decision for, like, you were like corporate marketing, you said you were doing? And then he's an engineer, basically. So at what point did you decide, actually, you know what, we're going into this business?
So going back to traveling to East Africa, as a Jamaican, I'm looking for rum.
Oh, okay.
That is my drink. I'm born and raised on
So you've always loved rum as a consumer, like
as
you said,
as
putting
a
it in your
culture.
words. Yeah.
I mean, rum is intrinsically linked to Jamaican culture.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's you know, it's across the Caribbean, and it's, you know, it's linked to the history of sugar and trade and slavery. You know, rum is a direct product of that whole of all of that. So yeah, for Jamaica, rum is the national spirit. So at all of our family occasions, and I've just come back from London, we had a beautiful gathering in honor of my late mom, and rum is at the centre. You know, whether it's in a rum punch, you know about the rum punch, Enoch.
Been there.
Okay, I don't know that, but it's fine.
Rum cake. Rum is our libation.
Really, I've never tried any of this before. I'm like,
what
have I been doing all my life then?
Don't worry.
It's a lucky day, Sade.
Anyway, okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so very much, you know, that's, and at our family gatherings, very, very conservative. I mean, we would have maybe some other spirits, brandy, but rum is everything. My dad would have, you know, white rum with cola over ice.
Okay.
With food, we always have food in the mix. You know, that's very much part of the ritual and the merriment. And for us, that makes the night last longer, right?
Okay,
that's why the partying goes on and on and on, because we eat.
Okay.
So it's a feast.
All right. Okay.
And rum is just part of it.
Okay.
So.
All right.
So very much, it's, you could say it's in my DNA.
Yeah. Okay.
But with Paul, growing up in Uganda where there's no rum culture, he's a whiskey man. So when I met him, he knew nothing about rum.
Okay.
He loves single malt. And my family is telling him, don't bring a single malt to our parties. You know? So he had to quickly get with the program.
Okay.
So, in answer to your question, I'm going around the houses here.
Right.
So, as we travelled into East Africa, I could not find rum, and I was so confused because I saw sugarcane everywhere. And where I see sugarcane, I'm thinking rum is being made somewhere nearby because that is the raw material.
Okay.
But there's just not a rum culture in East Africa, certainly at that time. This was around 2014. And that got us thinking, oh, that's interesting. Why is there no rum culture? And actually, where does Africa figure in the world of fine spirits? And at that time, I felt we were very absent. So the continent would receive spirits, the international spirits, you know, the Johnny Walkers and the Captain Morgan, but with all that beautiful produce, why wasn't there tradition? You know, but maybe it was the know-how wasn't there.
Okay.
So we decided that we were going to launch a rum brand specifically that was linked to Africa.
Okay.
But we would do it in the United Kingdom, but we would call it Matuga to keep us rooted.
Lovely.
So back at that time, nobody was really making rum from scratch in the UK. But we found one man, Dr. John Walters, who had cracked the code. He'd figured out how to make rum in the UK, and we approached him to make our products to our specification.
Oh, okay.
And that's how we got started.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
So it was a slow kind of progression because we were still doing our day jobs and doing this at the weekends. So we do farmers markets, and so we were essentially brand owners at that point, kind of figuring out the industry, figuring out our place. And at that time, it was just us. There were no other black founders. So we realised we were kind of blazing a trail here. And we would do events. I remember we did the London Rum Festival, which is an iconic event in the rum calendar every October. And we had our Matuga rum stand with our rums made in the UK. We got a lot of attention and a lot of people coming up to us saying, "Are you the founders?" You know, people of colour coming up to us saying, "Wow."
I can attest to that because I've had it once before. I'm just remembering now at an event. And I think that was the first time I met you.
Right.
And then I drank and I was like, I want more. Whatever this is, I don't know what it is. Just give me more. It was really, really nice. So, yeah, well done.
So
well
people
done.
are intrigued. And fast forward now, there's a lot more black founders, but at that time, it wasn't the case.
Okay.
And as we were getting deeper and deeper into the, into the business, and at that rum festival, we actually picked up our first export deal. Because you're looking at the Masala Chai rum here. There's next to it, there's a Matuga Golden, which is very unique. It's smoky. It's a smoky golden rum.
Wow.
Because Paul's the whiskey drinker, right?
Okay, yeah.
So he wants a rum that's got some of those whiskey characters.
Okay.
So he effectively invented the world's first smoky cask aged rum.
Okay.
And it turned so many heads. Now you've got, Havana Club doing smoky, you've got Mountgate, but we were the first.
Okay.
He invented it out of need, you know, out of need.
Yep.
Very impressive.
So we got picked up by a French importer, and in France they love whiskey and rum, so they got the best of both worlds, right, in this smoky golden rum.
Okay.
And that kind of gave us our first traction.
Okay. So the smoky one, you didn't bring that today?
I sure do.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. I'm actually lightweight, but honestly, I'm going to take the risk.
Go for it.
Yeah, just let me know.
Go for it. We'll just get a taxi for you.
Okay,
Take you
please
straight
do.
to your door.
Would you like to try?
Why not?
We were talking about it.
Thank
So
you.
if Paul was here, he'd get you to do the nose.
So this is the smoky one.
This is the smoky.
This
This is the unique one. Okay.
So,
smells really nice too, actually.
So the way that we make our rum is actually directly inspired by Jamaican rum making. So we use a lot of Jamaican rum techniques.
Okay.
I'm letting you try it neat, but you can also mix it. That's the thing about rum, it's so versatile.
Okay.
So if I gave you some cola or some ginger beer,
Yeah, I'll be the cooler
fine.
girl. Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
I've got
That's really
mixers
good.
here.
Oh, really? You can prepare. She's got mixers. Guys, I'm getting drunk in
I
here.
love Jason.
Can I just try it? Then now that I've tried it, do you want to try it as well?
I'll try some. Yes.
Okay. Don't be shy. Do it.
Yeah,
now.
I'll try some.
Okay.
So
That's
I want to try it neat though.
yeah.
There
That's
you go,
neat
that's
for
it,
now.
neat.
Yeah. Before.
So it's
Oh no! I didn't say finish it.
That's
Enoch
fine.
actually just downed everything.
You obviously enjoyed it.
It's really nice, actually. Okay, Enoch, I know you've got loads of questions you want to ask.
Very nice.
Do you want to go ahead or you want to get drunk first?
Very nice. So no, it's just
Very nice.
so
It.
looking at the.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
Yeah, nice actually. I feel my throat, like my chest,
Yeah, it's
clearing out.
warming.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting next 35 minutes. But let's go for it. Okay, so I'm always interested in that moment where people switch on to say we're doing this.
Yeah.
So with you went to Uganda, you saw the fields, and you thought, oh, there could be something here. So it was more from, I could be getting this wrong, so correct me, from, oh, I think this is needed.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the case that there was a lot of market research done, and you came back saying, "Oh, people need this." It was just your gut instinct.
A gut instinct, yeah. Identifying a gap.
Okay,
and
because
an absence.
That's risky, right? Because risky in the sense that, you said gut instincts. There is a lot of chat around. Look for where there are gaps and fill it. So I guess in a way that's what you've done.
She said there was no black person doing it.
Yeah, there was no black person doing it.
There's so much. There's an absence of UK made rum. There's an absence of black founders, and we could see the potential for this brand new category, and we realized we were right at the beginning of this potentially. So
I think they saw the opportunity. That was the opportunity and the gap they saw. Yeah, at that time.
And from that point where I know it's not a pure 15th of December 19. I know it's sort of like a series of moments, but from around that time to when you eventually started the business, how long did that take you?
It's really interesting. It probably took us about a month, and it's a really
short.
There's an event that happened. So I think we'd gone to Uganda in the December, and the following month we lost my grandma, my Jamaican grandmother Estelle, and we were at what we call a 9 night, which in Jamaican culture is similar to a wake.
Okay.
So you have it on a 9 night of the person's passing. And Paul and I and all of our family, we were drinking rum because that's part of the evening. And this is the truth. Paul and I, at the same time, had the idea, we should start a rum business. And it should be linked to Africa. And it was that night. And my Uncle Dickie always tells everybody, I was there when they had the inspiration. And then I think my grandma was at play because she loved rum.
Okay.
So there's a lot of spirituality, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But it was that night that it kind of came together in our minds.
We should do this.
Yeah. And then in terms of making the leap from, people say side hustle. I'm fine with that. It was a side hustle in the beginning.
Okay.
In terms of deciding to go all in, we actually took a trip to Martinique.
Okay.
That's one of the French islands.
That's right, where there's a big rum culture, slightly different style of rum. It's called rum agricole. And we were so inspired. I mean, we took our kids, we toured the whole island. We met with a lot of small family-owned distilleries who were making exceptional spirits. And we thought, we can do this. Because at that point, we didn't have our own operation.
I know you had a previous background, like family doing similar thing. It's just...
No.
Wow.
In Paul's family, his mother was an entrepreneur for sure.
Okay.
But not in drinks business.
No, we had nobody actually in our
that's
circle.
Quite brave and because what I'm just thinking is they've taken action like almost immediately. They've got something to... It's almost like you're piggybacking on something. But in your own case, it was brand new.
Yeah.
You're learning, and you were just open to all this, like learning new things, traveling to gain more experience, and wow,
it was all uncharted territory, and it was all self-directed. But at the centre of it, Paul was a real connoisseur and a real, I'm just going to say, a rum geek, spirits geek. So he wanted to soak up all the learning. He soaked up all of as much learning as he could from the distillery that we were working with in England to figure out the process. And it was fascinating to me because even as brand owners, we would have different gatherings with people to introduce our brand. And he was so brilliant and confident, and he didn't actually have the technical, but he had the theoretical. And he could answer all questions. So you can imagine now that he's got the technical down. So off the back of that trip to Martinique, we were really inspired and thought, we can have our own distillery and actually own the whole process as artisans. And then it was next level because we were all in at that point.
So and then that was when the decision was made that someone's got to do the learning.
Yes,
it was
and I'm the creative, right? I'm not the scientist. So I said, Paul,
off you go. We'll support you. And that's you guys on the way to Scotland.
And that's what brought us up to Scotland.
And how long ago was this?
So we moved up in July 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
So long ago.
Yeah. Because my first time meeting you was basically you doing rum tasting at Livingston Designer Outlet.
Yeah.
Back in it would have been 21.
Right.
Christmas 2021.
Yeah, we just come out of the pandemic.
Yeah. You came over and told me, and I was like,
yeah, no, you were there.
Was I there?
Yeah, you were there, but you didn't engage with them. So I think you've seen me somewhere on LinkedIn before. So when you saw me, you engaged me, started chatting, and then you said you were doing the drinks, and then eventually we connected, and then invited you to come to the Aegon event, and then that was how we got to know each other. So when did the business kick off then? When were you ready and sort of saying, okay, we've got our rum ready, we're ready to start shipping or to start selling?
So having moved up to Scotland, Paul completed his studies. We were effectively ready to get going.
And how long was this? Was it just a master's?
It was a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So he would have finished July 2018, June, July. And then in August, we took the keys to our industrial unit, 3,000 square foot unit, massive. And all we had in this unit was a table and a 5 litre still. Ooh. I mean, that's like...
And bags of Dream.
And bags of Dream, yeah.
Bags of Dream.
And, I mean, when you see it now, we're full to the brim, right? With equipment and casts. But that's how we started.
So what's your journey been like? I'm actually very eager to know from exactly what you've just told us. A massive land with just a table, did you say?
Yeah.
So compared to where you are now. So what's the journey been like? What's been the highlights and achievements and along the way?
Oh my goodness, so many. I think getting the business off the ground was our biggest achievements. Meaning, it's fine to complete the studies and get the unit, but the reason why it's empty is because we needed funding, right? So I think one of the biggest achievements for us was, developing a really good business plan that allowed us to get the startup capital that we need via a loan. And getting commercial loans for, young businesses is very, very hard. But without it, you just can't get off the ground,
But then before this point, you, I guess, invested a bit of your own cash.
Yes. Yep. So, we put significant of our own resources into the business. And actually, my late mum was our first investor.
Oh,
she's like, you guys, I believe in you.
Nice. This is touching.
Oh gosh, I've lost.
So the highlights for you, I think you've talked about the biggest achievement was getting the loan to start up.
Getting that
properly.
And the beauty of having a business in Scotland, and I've got the viewpoint of knowing what it's like to have a business in England. there's a lot of support up here. So we were part of, we did the RBS Accelerator, which was fantastic.
Okay. Did you say RBS?
RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland, and NatWest.
Okay.
So just for our listeners that maybe are not familiar with accelerators, but can you quickly, in a few seconds, explain what an accelerator is?
Sure. So it's a facilitated program with a means to an end. So, for example, the Entrepreneurs Accelerator will last, let's say it's 6 months. And in the beginning, you're in one place, and at the end, you're going to go on a journey through, an educational curriculum, through mentoring, and actually peer-to-peer networking. It's a very powerful kind of ecosystem that's created. And also you've got a space to come together with other entrepreneurs. So
regardless of your business idea.
Regardless. And that's actually quite helpful because, you've got common challenges, common aspirations. You may not be in the same space, but, you can kind of troubleshoot together. So when we started the program, our idea was literally a blueprint on paper, and by the end of the program we were distilling. So it just kind of helped the whole process, I would say. So there's so many different accelerators out there. Sometimes it's about a specific skill set like sales or leadership.
Okay.
So I definitely urge everybody to kind of look out for those because you're just so well supported. They're well funded, and you'll meet such, helpful people along the way.
Wow.
Definitely helped us out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So before we continue, been enjoying the conversation with Jason. I hope you have, Sade.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Guess you've enjoyed the drink as
Although
well.
a bit tipsy though. Sodium lightweight.
But you can still join us in the studio. You can call us on 0141 530 2787, or you can send us a WhatsApp. We are on 074 5990 6822.
Yeah, you can also join us. Oh, see, my voice has gone there. So you can also join us on Facebook, Jambo Radio Scotland, on Twitter at Jambo Radio 1, and on Instagram at jamboradio.scotland. You can also send us an email on info@jamboradio.co.uk, and you can also download the Jambo Radio app on your App Store and Google Play.
Thank you very much. And so, Jason, I'm going to talk a bit about money. You've touched on it slightly, because I'm an accountant, right? So I like to follow the money. So you got started. You've got these 3,000 acres, or
in the unit.
Unit.
3,000 square feet.
3,000 square feet, and of course you then need to fill it up with machinery and equipment. How did you go about raising finance beyond the loan from the bank? Because I know you had to take an interesting route to raise some of your biggest finances. So do you want to share that with us?
Yeah, sure. So the capital from the bank allowed us to get the foundation equipment in place, and that was basically 200 litre stills. So we'd gone from the 5 litre to follow the capacity. We've gone from a 5 litre to 2 times 200 litres. And that was the first step up, right? So very quickly that capacity was problematic because there was demand and we couldn't keep up on these 2 little stills. So we got another 2 little stills, and we outgrew that capacity. So then when we could see that the boom was coming, and we had confidence in our rum making, we wanted to go from what we call a tiny distillery to a micro distillery. And the way that we would do that would be by migrating from a 200 litre still to a 2,000 litre still.
Wow.
So significantly increasing our...
So just for clarity, that's times 10.
It is.
Yeah, that's
it's
quite
exactly it.
significant. Yeah.
10x in terms of our output. So in bottle quantities, that's taken us from 9,000 bottles to 98,000.
Wow. Okay.
So significant uplift in our capacity. And not only the still, we also got 4 2,000 litre fermentation vessels, because we do the whole process of rum making from scratch. So molasses comes in from Africa. We're quite strict about it coming from the continent. And then there's fermentation, similar to whiskey for a week. And then there's distillation, and then it's going to go a number of ways. It's going to be spiced, or it's going to go into a cask. So in order to get the funds for that scale up, we wanted to just kind of find investors, high net worth individuals who are really enchanted by what we're doing. It's quite difficult.
That was going to be my next question. What were the challenges like?
Yeah,
so
quite
you're touching
difficult.
on it as well.
You need, how do you, the money is out there, but how do you connect to the individuals, and how do you find the right individuals? So in the end, we decided to go down the crowd fundraising route. We're quite nervous because what you'll do with a crowd fundraise is you'll set your target, and for our equity fundraise, if we didn't hit our target, we would get nothing. So it's quite scary and stressful. But we went through the process. It took us 6 months from beginning to end. And you create an investment kind of room within the fundraising platform. So, on this platform, there's going to be us raising funds. There's going to be, maybe an ice cream company. And you've got to attract attention, right?
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of considerations, because you have your pitch video, you've got your pitch. I
guess your marketing skills came through at some point.
Yeah, I'd say so. But all the considerations, so for example, I was saying to Paul, knowing the statistics for women raising funds and people of color raising funds, black founders raising funds, I think that we should stand side by side in the front image that people see. And Paul said, nope, we're going to have you go out front. So the first person that people saw was myself. So if that didn't appeal to somebody, then they're going to go on to the ice cream campaign, and that's fine. They're not our people.
Wow.
So in the end, we attracted over 350 people.
Wow.
Who got on board, and they're putting in anything from £10, right? So it's a cumulative effect of the crowd, which is why it's so powerful. And
how was it? And then you mentioned something about getting a lot of demand, like people, there wasn't like, how did you even get there? Because I'm just thinking, okay, you've got this fantastic business idea, you've started doing something about it, you're working on it, and then you were looking for investors, which was, you've just explained that. So the point where you need customers, like people to supply to, how did you navigate that area? Like, from you saying loads of demand, I'm like, whoa, how did you even get there?
So we got a lot of PR, actually. And as you can imagine, a rum distillery in Scotland, in Livingston, with a Jamaican and a Ugandan at the helm, was quite unique.
It was a story.
It was a big story. So we had a lot of press coverage, and we got coverage that we couldn't.
They came to meet you.
Yeah. So we were discovered. We were on Landward.
Because we're on BBC as well, weren't we?
Yeah. We're on the James Martin show. We're on. Yeah, we had a lot of PR. I mean, now the scene's quite busy, but at that moment, there really weren't many rum distilleries, so it was all novel,
Interesting.
So that definitely helped. That really helped.
Fantastic, yeah. So when you met her at Livingston Shopping Centre, what exactly was going on there then?
So she was doing, you were doing rum tasting.
Pop-up,
pop-up. So for folks to taste and hopefully buy some, but then also, I guess, equally get to know about the brand.
Yeah, and that's an answer to your
brand
question.
visibility.
So we have to get out there to allow trial. Without trial,
what's the point of everything? It tastes good to you, but does it taste good to others as well?
So event marketing is really important, and being in Livingston, the Livingston Designer Outlet, that became a really great kind of platform for us to showcase the rum for the town. And actually what we did during the pandemic was we introduced a sibling collection alongside Matuga. So Matuga is the Africa-inspired brand. Africa meets Scotland, we called it. Paul came up with the strap line. I meant to be the creative, but Scottish craft, African soul. That's the tag. But we introduced a secondary line called Live, L-I-V. So Live means life and living in the Nordic regions. But if you're from Livingston, it means Livy rum.
So they can play with that.
So that allowed us to introduce a slightly different rum, still high quality, but we packaged it very differently. I should have bought a bottle, but anyway. So in that range, we've got very accessible rums. We've got raspberry rum. We've got tropical rum. And we packaged it differently so that it would reach a certain price point and would allow us to get supermarket listings. So we got it into Co-op.
Ooh,
so,
congratulations.
Just kind of figuring out, the strategy. And we've just, we developed a tropical rum, which
I'd like to taste that. Do you have that?
There you
I'll go for it again. I'm not giving you this time.
So this is a slightly different proposition. It's passion fruit and pineapple. I
love this.
Isn't it nice?
I love this. Just taste little.
And the power of television. So there's a show called Love Your Weekend with Alan Titchmarsh. And it was brought on the show as part of, 5 different rum brands from around the UK.
So nice, yeah.
And it was enjoyed in a hot chocolate. And the power of that, with everybody enjoying that serve, the sales went crazy.
This is really good. Do you have a bottle? I could buy one of you just now, honestly, because I love anything that's got a sweet taste to it.
Yeah.
So I love that it's rum at the same time tropical, like the fruity thing going on there. I love it.
And you can see the difference. So the first one I gave you very much could be a sipping rum.
Yeah.
You could think it's, a single malt. It's in that kind of spectrum. You're sitting by the fire, contemplating life. But with Liv, but you can also mix it. But Liv is definitely for mixing. So my family were coming up with some very nice serves at the weekend. So they were enjoying that with cream soda and cloudy apple juice.
Oh, lovely.
So we'll be introducing
I'm definitely going to place one order for this one. I love it so much. Yeah, I do.
And that's going into co-op at the end of May.
Wow.
That new
Congratulations.
Product. Yeah.
Congrats.
Breaking boundaries. Well done to you. Well done to you.
Yeah.
Genuinely pleased, proud of some of the stories you're sharing this evening. There must have been some mistakes along the way. And we are coming towards the end of the show now. So we'll just be throwing some quick fire questions at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can share some things that some of our audience can take away into their own whatever projects they're working on. So do you want to share one of the mistakes, if there's any, and maybe how you overcame it, if there's one to share from the top of your head?
Yeah, I think during our England days of having a business in England, we never really asked for help. There's a lot to learn, but we just kind of thought we can do it ourselves. That was a mistake. I think coming up to Scotland, we now say that we're learners constantly, and we're not shy about asking for help.
Okay.
We talked about this a little bit louder, but so peer-to-peer is really, really helpful. Although there's not a lot of rum distilleries, there's a lot of whiskey distilleries.
Okay.
So we have a few mentors who are master distillers from really iconic whiskey distilleries that help us, and they'll also do things like cask swaps. So they'll take our rum casks and they give us whiskey casks to age our products. So it's a real collegiate. So I would just urge everybody to, whether it's to look at your ideas or to sound check your business plan, don't be shy about enlisting help.
That's interesting.
Fantastic, thank you.
My next question was, what help she get in the entrepreneurial ecosystem? But I think she's answered some of that. Or is there still more you want to add in terms of the help you got? You've just shared one in terms of swapping, which is really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend as if I know what casting is. I know you've been talking about it and I've been nodding here, but I have no idea. Is it cask?
Cask.
Yeah, barrel.
Cask. How do you spell that?
C-A-S-K.
It's the first time I'm hearing that. Honestly, excuse my naivety. I'm just
So for instance,
I'm learning a lot today.
So this is how the rum looks when it comes off the still.
Okay.
It's white.
Right.
It's not white. Sorry. It's
it's
clear.
Yeah.
So we call this white rum.
Okay.
So this is very high strength, and if I put this into a barrel for a year, that's how we get the golden. That's how we get the cask.
It takes a year, 1 year, did you say?
For that product, yeah.
Wow.
And we can age longer, so we're now starting to age for 3 years. In fact, we released our first 3-year-old, and this is a very big deal because we entered it into the International Wine and Spirits competition, and it scored an outstanding gold, which is massive. That's 98 points out of 100. Wow. We're the first UK rum, I think, to score so high. So
honestly, congratulations.
So that all of these things,
you're doing so well.
All of these things help. So, and actually, one thing that we've just started introducing last year is borrowing from whiskey, where you can acquire a cask of whiskey. You can now acquire a cask of Scottish rum.
Okay.
So that's been really popular. We built that marketplace from scratch. We've had teams of squash players or lawyers who've kind of come on board for that. So we learn a lot from what's happening in Scotland and our peers and other distilleries. And the other thing is around giving back as well. So where Paul learnt the art of distilling at Heriot Watt, he now teaches the students how to make rum. So we run Herit
Professor
Watts.
Paul.
I know. I'm telling him, he's resisting. We run Herit Watts Craft Rum School.
Okay.
So they come to us every spring.
Okay.
And over the course of 2 weeks, they learn how to we don't let them loose on the big still.
Okay.
We still got the old 200
Small,
litre,
yeah.
just to remind us as well that they're
Okay.
still plumbed in. So they learn on them. It's spice rum. They're aging. So we have a really good relationship with Herit Watt. Professor Paul, I like it.
I think that's me. Have you got more questions?
No, so with the business, so you've gotten this far, still have a lifetime ahead of us. What are your visions? What's the dream? Where do you want to take this? Because based on what you're saying, you're already selling internationally.
Yeah. It's only
Still early
getting
days.
started,
Yeah.
and there's more to go.
Yeah. So what are the dreams for the next 5-10 years for Matuga Distillers?
So certainly to build our brand globally. So, continue to find new territories across Europe. We're looking at Canada, a territory in Canada, and we're looking at the US slowly.
Okay.
But we also want to bring the spirit back to East Africa. My in-laws, it's only as much as we can get in our hold bags.
When you travel.
That's
Okay.
That's as much as we can get to the family. But that would be amazing. So there's certainly the connection to home. And in addition to that, we want to start a sugarcane estate in Matuga. We've been talking about this for a while. Where we can grow our own sugarcane, which can be converted into sugarcane molasses and shipped to Grangemouth to end up in our spirit. But in addition to that, allow us to support the livelihoods of the local sugarcane growers, because they have a very tough time earning a living. So we can teach them value addition, how to transform their harvest of sugarcane into molasses that can earn them a better living. So the next step is, we're actually getting ready to do another fundraise. We're not going to go down the crowd fundraising route this time, so it's slightly scary but exciting. And that will allow us to, unlock all of these dreams that we've got, to take the brand global, to do our work in East Africa, and just unlock the potential of what we've started.
Okay, I'm sure you're going to do great. I have no doubt at all. After tasting this today, and then where can I find Leave? If I was to leave this place now and I just want to have some more, because I know you only came with limited quantity. I'm already trying to see if there's more somewhere. All right. Okay. Anyway, so where can our listeners buy if they want to have a taste of what we've enjoyed today?
So if you go to our website, matugarum.com. Okay. So that's MATUGGA rum.com. You'll see the Matuga products. You'll see the Live.
Okay.
Sade's favorite.
I leave for Leave.
You'll also see.
That's a good one.
You'll also see our legendary tropical rum punch, which we pre-batch and sell by the litre. And you'll see that you can sign up for one of our distillery tours.
Okay.
And come and see how we're making rum in Livingston. We host these once a month. The first or second Saturday of the month. Okay. Paul's in his element. Okay. It's a little bit geeky. Okay. We do food and rum pairings, and we've actually got a TripAdvisor award for this tour. It's very rustic, but it's very authentic. But we get really good feedback because I think they see the passion. Great.
Yeah, just to be very clear, this is Leave, right? The one I've just had. Are you saying there's tropical too?
That is the tropical.
So it's still
So under the
that's
Live,
fine, just to be clear.
Yeah, that's the Live tropical, which is passion fruit and pineapple. Okay. I think you'd also like the Live raspberry. Okay. So maybe after the show.
Okay. All right then. Yeah, bring it on so that I know which one I'm gonna buy at the end of the day. But at least our listeners know where to get.
Yeah. So it's Matuga
themselves.
rum.com. So that's MATUGGARUM.com.
And this bottle that you were talking about, that is our masala chai spice.
The branding is beautiful, by the way. Beautiful.
And you know what's really interesting about this? So we've chosen masala chai, again, to link back to East Africa, where there's a big Indian population. So it's basically rum infused with tea, ginger, cardamom, clove, vanilla and cinnamon.
Okay.
And we've just been speaking with a fantastic company, Ujama Spice.
Yep.
We have just received spices that have come from Zanzibar and Tanzania. And
So
this has
things
been our
about-
dream. Like
Yeah,
we wanted
yeah.
to, but we didn't know
Yeah.
how to.
get- yeah.
Like, that arrived today. Paul's like, this is the most
Oh.
beautiful spices to smell. And
Yeah.
he's putting it in the next batch.
Okay.
So that the
Nice.
story continues,
Yeah,
you know, the
yeah.
storytelling.
And it's interesting, you know, the connectivity with African, you intentionally keeping that alive. And,
Yeah.
you know, the story you just shared around now going back to support some of the sugarcane farmers. I think it's good to grow a business, try to make a bit of money, but then there's also that bit around social impact as well.
Yeah.
Like, what legacy are you going to leave
Yeah.
in the world? We're coming to the end of the show now. So we've got a tradition here on Moments with Sade and Enoch. Don't worry,
Okay.
don't be scared. Where we get our current guest to share, to leave a word of advice to our next guest. You don't know them, so this is just going to be anything. So our last guest, their word of advice was be authentic. So that's what we're giving to you.
Okay.
And they don't know you, so they give that advice just for whoever the next guest is.
Yeah.
So what word of advice do you have for our next guest?
The one that's coming to mind is, I'm taking this from my grandmother, Alberta Garrison, and she would say to me, every disappointment is a blessing in disguise.
Every,
And I lean into that. So
Yeah.
I'm sharing that with the next guest.
every disappointment is a blessing in
In
disguise.
disguise.
Give us a story. There's a story there. Give us a quick story.
For that.
Yeah, where maybe that has worked. I mean, played out in your.
Yeah, I
Or you've
guess
held on to that
Yeah,
to
I guess
kind
I-
of keep you going.
generally I have a very optimistic orientation anyway. But it's definitely a guide because, you know, all of these things you can say lemons into lemonade. I constantly just keep moving because as an entrepreneur, it's a very hairy, crazy ride, and you've
It's not for everyone.
you've got to have a certain disposition for
Yes.
it.
Yes.
You know, and I'd say out
True.
of us, I'm more kind of towards risk. Paul's being this, scientist, probably a little bit more risk averse, but he's probably become more open to risk now. So, you have to kind of ride the wave of disappointment and success, and you get into kind of norming actually. You get used to it, and what you realize is that you will get through,
Yes.
even if it becomes very testy, and we somehow get through.
And I believe that because we've said a lot today, and for you to start this business, not like it's like a family business or something someone has been doing before that you're trying to just replicate. For you to just start from ground zero and to get it to where you are today, it's truly, honestly, it's
massive
amazing.
testimony, yeah.
So to our listeners, you don't have to have massive experience. All you have to do is train, learn, because you can go in blindly. Of course, you need to just know what you're going into. But I'm sure at some point you were scared, you were probably in doubt, you were questioning yourself. So all these things are normal, but at the same time, you just have to keep focused and do what you want to do. And where there's a will, there's a way, I think.
100%.
The will, yeah, the
Bottom
will.
line, yeah.
I think the will is really powerful. If you have the will, then everything else, I won't say fall into
Yeah.
place, but it becomes easier because
Yeah.
you've got that driving force.
Yeah.
Behind
And a
it.
little disappointment won't just make you stop because
No.
you have the strong will
Every
to just keep going.
disappointment is a blessing.
Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
In
It's been
disguise.
really amazing.
Yeah.
In
having
disguise,
you.
in disguise, yes, thank you.
you.
Because when we are in it, we may find it hard to believe that, but I
Yeah.
think we need a reminder to say, listen, this is
Yeah.
tough, but hopefully you look back on this 10 years from now and be like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't get that.
Yes.
You know, and I think once it's happened to you a few times, you get to believe it more. You know, if you've had
Definitely.
a few disappointments that have turned into blessings, then when it
Yes.
comes again, you'll be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
This will work out well. All right. Okay, then. So we are wrapping up the show for today. Thank you very much,
Thank you so
Jason,
much.
for
It's
joining
been a
us
pleasure having
all
you.
the way
Thank
from
you.
Livingston.
From Livingston.
You know, spicing Livingston
thanks
up,
for the rum tasting.
even giving
It's
it,
been really good.
giving it,
That's your bottle, by the way.
Thank you so much.
So specifically, is it for Sade or for me?
It's for you too.
There's no such thing. It's either for Sade or for me.
It's for me.
So the two of you.
It's for me.
I'm not getting in the middle of that.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you. I'm definitely having this tonight. All right, thank you.
Fantastic. So, as I said, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on the show today. And that's everything from all of us today on Moment with Sade and Enoch show. Until next time, I'll leave you with last words, because they say what we say lasts. So it's matugarum.com. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.